Thank you, Assistant Secretary Bitter, for being here today. Mr. Chairman, I get those calls too, but usually it's at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, not on Thursdays. Thursday's a luxury, you know. In any event, thank you for the important work you do, and it is critically important for a vast swath of Americans who partake of these services. I've, at the request of the department, when I was overseas, I actually sat in on some of the interviews that the frontline people over there do when they're issuing visas, and I was incredibly impressed with their ability and the efficiency and respect that they carry out their job, and I really appreciate that. Having said that, Americans have been struggling to get passports for years now and waiting weeks longer than they did before the pandemic, as the chairman has pointed out. Foreigners have to wait months, sometimes years, to visit the United States. These delays directly hurt American industry, slow economic growth, and delay reuniting families. This is especially true in my state of Idaho, where our major manufacturers like Micron Technology have trouble getting visas for workers who are desperately needed to stay ahead of their competition, or our farmers who have problems getting visas for seasonal ag workers, and our world-class resorts have trouble attracting tourists who can't get visas to vacation in Idaho. And as the chairman has referred to, and I'm sure every member of this committee has dealt with calls from constituents to help in that regard. I understand there was a backlog that developed during COVID, and the department is still digging out. But let's be clear, the department time and time again has failed to plan for the crisis and instead becomes a victim of them. This needs to change. Given all of this, I was particularly frustrated when I watched the evacuation from Sudan. And Sudan wasn't the first problem I've had with State Department evacuations. I was, as a lot of people were, horrified by the catastrophic evacuation of Afghanistan. Our evacuation in Kyiv also left much to be desired, particularly in terms of getting people back in when we opened up. If I sound a little frustrated, it's because I am. A hearing like this should be about highlighting the great work that the State Department does to serve the American people. Every American gets their passport from the State Department. Every American whose family member needed a visa to be reunited with a loved one must work with the State Department. Every American adopting a child internationally, or alternatively who is fighting to bring a parentally abducted child back home, must go through state. The same office, the Office of Children's Issues, serves both of these purposes, but woefully continues to miss the mark in true service to Americans. When Americans get in trouble abroad, it's that should be there to help, and we often contact them to do so. To be clear, there is much to celebrate in the Bureau of Consular Affairs and more broadly with our hardworking consular officers working across the world. However, I'm afraid the problems right now currently outweigh the successes, and the cheerleading regarding the service must be tempered, as we've said here now, by the reality on the ground today. So with that, again, thank you for being here. We're anxious to hear how you're going to fix all this. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.